that, right?
Oh yeah, best local celebrity. Yeah. The amazing thing is, I'm the most famous person on the stage, and it ain't for fucking comedy. That's bullshit.
I'm so glad he said that so that we didn't have to.
Is somebody gonna cook his meal here?
Keep it going for Chris Brennan. I just noticed some more comics in the house. In the back of the room, we have Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi's here with his date Leah Ford. That's awesome. What's up? Jody, should I tell him how long it takes you to brush your fucking hair? I can. I will. Our next presenter is Toby Roberts.
She don't give it up.
Well, Toby, you know.
She's so
Toby and I have a special kind of love for each other. I was there the first time. First time you went on stage, I put you up there, Toby. You remember that? I do. My ears fucking hurt for a long time. Yeah. It's been the same ever since, Toby. Over and over. Toby's not my friend on Facebook, but he's that guy that always comes up as the suggested friend you should add, and you don't. That's all. Here's Toby Roberts.
All right, fuck you guys. When I got the phone call, it was like you hear. I got the phone call doing a roast for Justin Hayes. It was like, hey, would you please? I know you're probably busy. It's not too much of a he's going away. Like I am surprised that there aren't more comics here celebrating him going away. Like, Jonas, if you pay attention to this shit, that's how you do crowdsourcing. You're leaving money on the table, Justin. If you advertise this as, hey, if you guys all get together in one room and I pass the hat around, there's enough money, I will move to New York. This fucking place would have been packed. And I was confused. I was like, why the fuck? Like, New York, really, dude? Just you got your I Love New York shirt on?
Yeah, boy!
That's like 70s gay. That's like the OG of sucking dick right there. Times Square is not what it used to be, Justin. You're going to be very disappointed. He's like, you know how many fucking lady boys there are in Times Square? So Jamal showed him. Yeah? Fucking Jamal, whatever. Yeah, I was like, oh cool, let's do a roast. There's lots of fucking funny comics in Seattle that would love to roast Justin. Why didn't you contact any of them? Look at this fucking front row of creepy motherfuckers. I guarantee you if you go to their houses, at least one of them has like half a dozen little boy dicks frozen in their freezer. Look at this shit. Fred Bowski's here. Fred, you were the funniest fucker up here, man. Let's hear it from Fred one more time. That dude, the most brilliant writer in the Tacoma, Seattle. I swear to God, the guy's brilliant. But, you just need to speak up a little, bro. Fucking act like you've been there before, man. You'll be moving to New York with Justin. It'll be... Kid just needs some confidence. Will somebody please suck his dick tonight? Please. Just go up to the kid and say, I want to suck your dick like I'm mad at it. I'm mad at it. Fucking Jonas is laughing. Fucking Jonas grew up Joan. I don't know if you guys can tell from looking. His cheeks are so rosy and smooth. Like a woman. He's a fucking transsexual post-op on testosterone. It is. I've seen his vagina. It's gross. It is. Fucking Jonas. I heard Jonas is here. I was like, oh, fucking right on. This is going to be just like a Comedy Central roast. It's going to be just, there's always one fucking dude that no one's ever seen and is not funny sitting on the stage. I was like, Jonas is here. This is perfect. It's going to be like that. Riggs. Good choice, brother. Good choice switching to race cars, my man. I've seen this dude crash and burn so many fucking times. The race car thing is just beautiful. Love that guy. Chris Brandon, it is true that Chris Brandon, comics talk a lot about who their inspirations are. I don't know, Richard Pryor, shit like that. I saw him do comedy and I know he got paid for it. I was like, what the fuck? That's what I want to do with this fucker. Have you ever pondered the thought that perhaps you being the spokesperson for bringing the Sonics back is exactly why they're not fucking back? Is it just me? Is it just me? Does the NBA have a fucking problem already, PR-wise, with this thuggish issue? Yeah, we need a fucking black dude with an angry hammer fist pick in his hair. It would be fucking awesome. If only when you spoke on TV there was a little more bass in your voice. We might have a team back. If you're gonna go fucking Shaft, go all the fucking way. You can't just go halfway. Fucking Festus is here. Fester, sorry. It was like Festus and Fester and Fungus mixed together. I came up with Festus. I know, dude. Morgan and I once drove fucking... We drove, in 24 hours, we drove to fucking Butte, Montana and back. Remember, we hit a Bobcat. It was a crazy... The speed limits in Montana, what? What is your problem? Do you have to pee? What? Can you see it? I don't know. I'll let you touch it later. Do you want to suck it like you're mad at it? You can. I hate you. Oh, fuck. I've never wanted to jump out of a car going 80 miles an hour more in my life than when I was riding from fucking here to Montana and back in one night with that.
Without your hat.
I'm not taking my fucking hat off. I don't look as bad as Jonas without a hat, but it's not good.
Whatever.
Yeah, you got the comb over going tonight, Justin.
The other way, too.
The other way. That's what I heard about Justin. Every once in a while, he goes the other way. He just...
Finally, a joke. I'll set him up. You hit him.
What happened to my yellow piece of paper?
Always close on a high.
I got some shit written down, man.
Don't bring this fucker into the dirt, dude.
I know, dude. I don't really... Mike Wally Walters, everybody that has a smart device here, if you're on Facebook, it's Mike Wally Walter at Facebook. Feel free to send him a quick note, real quick. You guys didn't miss shit. If he had shown up... If he had shown up, it would have been a sad parade of other people's jokes from 50 years ago. I showed up and they go, Mike didn't show up. I was like, oh, fuck, good, man. He has such a reputation of going into comedy rooms and undercutting and fucking the pay up for everybody that I feared that if he was here, I was going to have to fucking give Susan some money to tell some jokes. I was like... And what, another thing, if I'm doing triple runs when I'm 90, guys, is it okay if I just assume the persona of Bill Burr and call it a tribute act? Is that okay?
Finally, you'd have a reason for doing it.
It's ironic that Mike does an impersonation show where he does all of Don Rickles' old jokes because he looks kind of old and wrinkly and like cancerous like Don Rickles. Nasty. This girl just said nasty, nasty. I find that ironic because Mike is like the harshest critic of hack comedy in the Seattle scene. He's got a lot of advice. When I first started, Susan and Mike gave me a ton of advice. Susan did give me my first 3 minutes on stage, and so thank you, Susan. But she was like so helpful and had so much advice every time I would go to Tacoma Comedy Underground. I'd do a set, she'd give me advice. I am so fucking happy I never took any of it. I've gotten to go to Japan for the troops. I've got some TV credits. It's been a fucking great ride. Thank you. I'm so glad I took none of that advice. Justin and I, buddy, we go back a ways. I heard about Justin before I ever met him when I started doing comedy. And I met you, dude. You're a good dude. We've always, I like it. Justin has been kind of a canary in the coal mine for me when I got into comedy. If I met somebody that fucking hated Justin Hayes, they fucking hated him, I go, A, they know him. If they weren't a comic, I'm like, yeah, we could probably be friends. If they were a comic, though, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, dude, if they hated you as a comic, I knew that they were on the list of people that I shouldn't fucking hang around with. You're a man, bro. Good luck in New York.
All right, I got it. Did you actually harass Jonas for having rosy cheeks? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? He just signed $1 million deal with Proactive, and you fucking talk about Jonas Park? I can't believe you didn't mention leaving shit marks on my sister's couch. By the way, Toby will be headlining Jazz Bones this Tuesday. And next Tuesday. Probably December, if you want to see him. January. Be back in March. How you guys feeling? Are you feeling good? Oh, our next presenter is an internationally touring stand-up comedian, Morgan Preston. Yeah! He is one of the nicest guys I know. Everyone has nothing but nice things to say about Morgan Preston. Morgan Preston is so nice, his dog has a Facebook page. How nice is that, girls? Come on. That has more likes than his Facebook page does. Morgan will be appearing this year in American Horror Story Freak Show. Please welcome to the stage, Morgan Preston!
Jonas mentioned, was it Jonas? He mentioned the tooth. I actually wore the tooth. Look, check that shit. Check that shit. But if I wouldn't have worn this shit, you guys would have heard fat jokes and fucking my front tooth jokes the whole goddamn night. That shit was strategy. And here's why. Fuckers cost $1,000. I'm not investing that kind of fucking money in a show like this. It's going in my pocket. Let's talk some shit. Alright. I just want, and here's a little insight on how my brain works and how I prepare for shit. I got a little book, and on the front it says field notes. And then I got really fucking high. First page, I drew that picture. I have no fucking idea what it is. Alright, second page, a smaller version of that picture. Third page, Toby. If you book Toby, don't buy him drinks until after his set. Because if you feed him drinks before, he's doing everybody's fucking show, just like Mike Wally Walter, especially if they're booked on the same show, you're really fucked. And I've seen him do Louis C.K. Okay, alright, so,
No, really, I saw him blow Louis C.K. Finish the joke.
did you notice they were laughing and then he fucking jumped in and everybody shut the fuck up really quick? Yeah, that's how that shit is. Alright. Here, I was more pissed about this shit tonight than anything I've been pissed about all week. Because I'm here to talk shit about Mike Wally Walter, and that fucking faggot didn't show up. Like, I was fucking pissed.
Do it!
Because Mike Wally Walter and Susan Jones, they fancy themselves a, I'm reading this shit by the way, I'm high, there's fucking TVs on. They fancy themselves a power couple in the comedy world. I call them a poor man's Jerry Persio, Denby Simons. I was high. One thing you'll never see from either of them is a set at Parlor. Mike Wally Walter, write a fucking joke, you moron. That's what I got right there. Fred Bowski. I googled his fucking name, and it said he was a computer programmer from South Carolina. That shit ain't funny at all. I couldn't think of nothing. Riggs. I just wrote whatever by your name. That's all I wrote for you. So I don't know if that's good or fucking bad, but you're off the hook so far. I don't fucking know shit about you except you booked me like 3 times at your club and then I got canceled every fucking time. The last one was like, we're not even open. I'm like, I fucking spent 2 hours on this poster, you fuck. Alright. That page has already been covered. Mike Wally Walter has a tribute act, so he doesn't have to write jokes. Dude, it's a good fucking move. I'm sorry, that's not a lot of work. You just fucking lose some weight, get some plastic surgery, and buy a shitty tux at the Value Village. You're fucking good to go. Because he doesn't sound anything like Rickles. This fucking joke suck ass. He sounds like a racist fucking cocksucker at the casino. Jonas, stop taking such shitty promo pictures. Why are you always looking pensively off camera? Here's the rules. Video, don't look at the camera. Photos, look into the fucking camera so we can see into your shitty soul. Speaking of photos, Susan Jones, take a new fucking picture. Seriously, Google that shit. 10 years. 10 fucking years. Get a large format dude to come in and to get this shit handled. With Jesus fucking Christ, get a goddamn picture. I know you're keeping that one because you think it makes you look slimmer. Let me just say this shit. Nobody gives a shit. At this point, a 100-pound swing is negligible in the Susan Jones universe. All right. All right, I had to do whatever. Fucking, all right. So, we were friends through Facebook for like years. She was the one that kept getting suggested. I'm like, oh, fucking no. And finally I said yes, so we're friends, and maybe not tomorrow. I don't know. But we'll find out. Hopefully so. I'm not going to fucking whale her. I think Mike is the big... No, here's what. Mike is the bigger fucking pussy in this whole thing, because she knows I fucking don't like her. And she came here. Mike, she's a bigger target, figuratively, literally, every fucking way you can make that sound. Carrie Fisher should be fucking chained to this fucking chair. Mike Wally Walter is not here. He is the fucking pussy. Fuck him. Bye.
Who said he's angry? A black lady said you're angry.
Wait, I fucking forgot to say the one goddamn thing I was going to say about Justin. Just a second. Wait a second. I was like, I don't want to roast Justin because every time I book him into rough rooms that nobody can handle, he was always able to handle it. So I don't want to talk shit to a motherfucker and take care of business. So I just wrote this. I like Justin. This is what I know about him. He worked at a window factory so he could support his other hobby of coming inside minority women without condoms, obviously. That child support is a bitch.
How did you forget to roast Justin? I hate my Wally. Oh yeah, Justin Hayes' roast. Okay. Fuck yeah. Our next presenter tonight, he's okay. Is Riggs. He's our final presenter. Riggs, I'm really afraid to say anything. Here's why. You guys want to know why? The last time I roasted Riggs, 2 days later he got a divorce. No, it was because the shit I said on stage. Because I cock-blocked the chick, so you can fuck the other chick in your room, and then we switched, and you fucked the new wife in my room. It was one time. How many wives ago was that? Did you fuck both girls that night? I can't remember. That's what his wife wanted to know, too. Richmond Comedy Club, we all got to go up. Are we okay? You guys look like tits. Your heads together. Put them together for a second. They look like mine. That's fucking crazy. Put your hands together for Rick!
I wrote my shit down too, but I'm not high. I quit comedy without the fanfare of fucking Justin's photo trip to New York. Like that's one way not to get booked, or just be Justin Hayes. And it is, Chris mentioned, there's a long, storied history of Tacoma comics moving to other entertainment meccas and having roasts. You know, such as Ed Rubin, Jeremy Whitman, Jason Stewart twice. You're like, who the fuck are those people? Exactly. Exactly. There'll be a roast next year with some other comic, and we'll add Justin's name. Like, who the fuck is Justin Hayes? Like, yeah, oh, he's the guy in the corner because he came back. Every single one of those guys came back. Every single one, several times.
I'm hearing a theme. Stay on, bitch.
So the thing about and Justin, I like Justin. A lot of comics, as you've heard, do not. But even the ones that do like him, don't really like him. You know, like your family, you fucking know, right? Like, Justin doesn't get the hint too. We've been like telling him how good he is for years. Like, you should go to LA or New York. You're really good. Just so we can start in the green room all the goddamn time. Oh, Christ. We burned his car down. He didn't get the hit. He blamed on the next girlfriend. There was like a half-second open mic with just a fucking lighting fluid. And now we're restraining on keeping her from coming to this show. At Grit City, we actually turned over the booking to Justin and Fred because the bar was so shitty inside the 502, we couldn't be there anymore. My partner Vince and I were like, fuck this place. We didn't want to close. We want to keep it going. Let's give it to Justin. And then before our first show, we're like, what the fuck are we thinking? He booked Chris Brandon. He booked Morgan Preston. Like, fucking close it. Totally. Everybody on the stage was booked to work. They're like, nope, that's not happening.
I told you I'd get you one job.
And now he's leaving. The thing about Justin is he's very committed to his craft. He'll do whatever it takes for a joke. Like, he'll fuck an Asian girl just to make his jokes less racially insensitive than they really are. And she moved to Texas. How shitty do you have to be to make an Asian girl move to Texas to get away? Fucking Texas. That's a special kind of asshole right there. With Justin leaving, that's only going to leave Puddin to book all the shitty bar gigs in Tacoma. Because he's literally booked every bar in Tacoma. It's like a bad game of musical chairs or Duck Duck Goose, and Black Star is it. That's the last one. It's out of bars. Let's see here. We got Morgan. By the way, give it up for Morgan. Like, of all the people up here, he's the only one that's actually been on a TV show. He killed it on that taxi cab quiz show. He was doing good. Love that show. Yeah. It is. And also, Morgan made a movie. He like legitimately went out and he got all these big names, and it was a movie about a comic that nobody ever heard of, ever seen. And then the movie never came out, so it's basically an autobiography. Mike Wally Walter was supposed to be here, as you guys have known. I'd like to pay respect to all the comics that we've lost this year. It's been a kind of a bad time for comedy. Unfortunately, Mike Wally still lives. And, I think the reason that he didn't show up is because he heard that Joan Rivers might die, and he said dibs on her jokes. On the YouTube, learning that shit. He's going to be addressed by next week being a Joan Rivers impersonator. Getting some work done. He does do Don Rickles impersonations. The ironic part is that Don Rickles is going to outlive him. Toby Roberts, you guys saw him, unfortunately. Toby used to sell cars, and then he started doing comedy. Toby still sells cars. He's kind of hard to write jokes about, really, because you feel bad sometimes, you know. Like, you can only laugh at the old lady who falls down or breaks a hip so many times. That was done. All right. Well, the one I didn't read was...
God, do it.
Toby, being a car salesman, sells his jokes for retail and charges wholesale. He'll make you a really... The reason I didn't do it was a Mike Wally joke. He was like... Mike, he'll make you a really good price on a street joke with low miles. That was...
I kind of like the premise.
Yeah. Speaking of dead careers, we got Chris Brandon here. Jonas Barnes. Jonas took a lot of heat for doing a GoFundMe to make it to New York. It could have been worse. He could have dressed up in green and gold and wove his son around in the last few years. But he's leaving without having to burn his car down. I'm surprised that Jonas is here tonight because it's Sunday, and I thought for sure that there would be some sort of like weird show at the Tacoma Comedy Club where you do your first set, and then the second set you shave your balls, and then attach battery cables to your nipples, and see how funny you are afterwards. The one thing that people don't know about Jonas is he's in an open relationship. He's dating Lauren, who's very nice, and also he's in a relationship with Adam's balls. Yeah, where's Adam's here though? Fred actually was the hardest person because he's the nicest guy. He's the hardest guy to write jokes about. I'd like to thank his wife for letting him come out. He's nice of her. He is married, yeah. They have a kid, and my theory was that like she had the kid to trap him, like all the girls at Justin's tried. They tried, and the problem was that's exactly why Fred knocked her up, because she has a good job and he works temp. Towards the end, my handwriting got really bad. I can't even read it.
Why did you save him for the end?
I didn't. Fuck you. I just can't read it.
Stop.
Oh, that's right. Fred has had a lot of temp jobs, but the job he's had the longest was pretending to be Justin's friend. So he could get booked at shows. So with Justin gone, this may also be a farewell going away party for Fred as well. It's been good knowing you. I'm getting married in 7 days or so. Something like that. Thank you.
Don't encourage him.
I don't need